right, welcome to another episode of Do We Really Know? Let's see. Let me show you the intro and find out who is our special guest today. Woo! Episode show number 22.
Jason Wilson.
And now our wonderful host, Mr. Omar, waiting there to get on. All right, here we go. Let's bring in our special guest, show number 22, Mr. Jason. Here we go. Let's hope it works. All right. Welcome from Colombia. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Excellent. I'm excited that you're here. Finally, we're able to make it. I hope the internet
Yes.
lasts. But we'll see how it goes. I want
All
to
right.
show you something real quick before we get to know Jason. What do these people in the Let me see. Were you able to see that? Right, perfect. There you go. Okay, were you able to see those, Jason? All those. What do they all have in common?
They're comedians.
And they're also Mr. Wilson. Did you realize that?
Yes.
They're all from Dennis the Menace, the show, right? And so that was
Yeah.
an interesting thing there. Okay, ready or not? Let's go ahead and put in the slides here. Do we really know Jason? All right, one moment. There we go. All right, can you see the slides there?
I see. Do we really know? Show number 22,
Awesome,
Jason
awesome.
Wilson.
Okay, we already have a couple of people here in the audience. Dr. New, thank you for showing up. And great to see both of you. And
Hey, Dr. New.
everyone, how you doing? All right, question one. Here we go. Okay, most useful app you have ever used, ever. On your phone, on the computer. What is the most useful app?
For me, LinkedIn. By
LinkedIn?
far. Yeah.
And why?
On Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms that I've used, man, I've never had close connections like what I have right now. I've never been able to be part of a community either. So, LinkedIn is the place where you can do that.
Oh, beautiful. That's great. But have you ever downloaded an app on your phone other than LinkedIn, other than social media, that you felt like it was very useful for you? What would that be? What would you say?
Definitely Canva.
Canva is useful too. But it's the same on the phone as it is on the computer?
Pretty much.
Well,
Yeah, you can pretty much do the same thing. It's a lot
awesome.
more challenging on the phone than it is on the desktop, but yeah.
For sure. I'm pretty sure it is. All right, question two. Here we go. Okay. What is the most exciting thing to do in Colombia? We know you're in Colombia. You're live there. If I would travel there, what's the most exciting thing we can do there?
I would say if you are into extreme sports, it's definitely a nice place to do extreme sports like parachuting, paragliding, anything that has to do with a river, like river rafting. That's
Oh
an
wow,
extreme sport that people get into also here. So yeah, definitely extreme sports.
that's awesome. That's great. Have
Yeah.
you been involved in any of those before, and was it fun?
I like my life. I don't enjoy extreme sports. I haven't done that yet. But I was talking to Kelly Steinica about
Yeah,
parachuting, and I think I'm gonna do that, man.
you gonna try that? That's
I'm
good.
gonna
Yeah,
try
why
it.
not?
I'm gonna give it a shot.
Try,
Yeah.
try it one time at least. Very good.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's good. Have you ever been in a hot air balloon before?
Excuse me.
Have you ever been in a hot air balloon?
No, never, man. You?
Okay. I wouldn't do that either, but maybe one day. Okay. All right, let's go on to the
Okay.
next question. Okay, fresh orange juice or Coca Cola?
Oh, well, I'm from Atlanta, man. So Coca-Cola.
Coca Cola. Okay. Why, of course, absolutely. I prefer OG
Yeah.
for me. OJ, all the way. Not OJ, the other guy, but that's okay. That's something else. Okay. Your best exercise or workout?
I would say bench press. I'm a personal trainer. I was a personal trainer in the States for 10 years before I came to Columbia. So I love free weights, lifting weights in general. And my favorite exercise is bench press.
Awesome. So you had like a business, you had people under you that you were working and training, or you just worked for
Yeah, I had
somebody?
my yeah, I had my own business as a personal trainer, but after that, I worked for several health club chains: Gold's Gym, LA Fitness, 24-hour fitness, all of those.
That's awesome. Was that a
Yeah.
challenging job that you had, or pretty fun?
No, it was fun, man. I really, really enjoyed it.
That's awesome. All
Yeah.
right, let's go on to the next question. All right, do you consider yourself as having a green thumb? Are you a green thumb guy, Mr. Wilson?
Planting and gardening, no, man.
You're
That's
not
that's
that
not me.
guy.
No, I'm
If
not that
let's
guy.
change it up a bit. If you would plant something, or you had somebody, what type of plant would you plant? And you think that's a good for the environment? What do you think?
Okay. My father-in-law planted some peppers from a pepper
Oh,
tree. So,
uh-huh.
I really, really enjoyed that. I love hot, spicy food. So I used to use those in my guacamole and on my eggs in the morning for breakfast. So that to me was awesome.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
always good way to see how plants grow and get that nature of it, right? Because we're always online and we're doing this. And it's also because you're a big advocate to mental health, and we'll talk about that later. Planting is
Yeah.
definitely a good way, right? You go out, you're in the garden, you're seeing the nature, you're planting the seed, and then it grows up to a flower or a plant, and then from there, it's wonderful. It's nature right there, right? Wouldn't you say so?
Absolutely. Oh
Beautiful.
yeah. Absolutely.
All right, let's continue. Okay, your pet's name as a child or adult. Does Mr. Wilson Jason have a pet? If so, if so, what kind and the name?
Okay, so currently I don't have a pet, but when I was a kid, I had a dog, and it was one of those terrier
Yeah,
dogs. It was really, really
yeah.
small, and I named it Pepsi. It had a tremendous amount of energy. So, it used to jump all over the place. And as soon as I got home from school, it would jump on me and want to play and stuff. So that's why I named it Pepsi.
That's awesome. That was where you grew up. Where in Atlanta? That's where you had
Yeah,
him.
in Atlanta. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's always great. Always have a pet that you remember as a kid, and it's
Yeah.
great. What about it
Yeah.
right now? Does your son have a kid? Have a pet? Your son?
I don't have a kid. I don't have a pet right now. And so I made a joke to my son because,
Yeah.
I think that when you have a dog, it's like having another child in the house. You got to feed the
Yeah.
dog, walk the dog, wash the dog, and you have to take it to a vet every here and there for a checkup and whatnot. And my son's just not at that age where he's going to do all of that. I don't have time because I'm an entrepreneur and I'm constantly on the computer and working. So
Yeah.
I always made a joke to him saying that you can have Nemo as a pet. And then
Yeah,
when you get a little bit older, you can have a dog.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, fish are something good, but then they don't live that long, right? They live for a couple of months, maybe, or weeks even.
Yeah,
Depends
right.
on how you take care of
Yeah,
it. But that's always like I always wonder how come a fish doesn't last that long? You need a good tank, you need good water, you need to clean it
yeah,
every often. But yeah, I mean, pets do take time. As we grow older, we're always busy, and they take it like another child. You're absolutely right.
absolutely.
You're right. Okay, I'm ready for the next question. Let's go. Okay, teach us a word in Colombian Spanish. I know in Spanish there are different dialogues and different ways of saying it. It's all
Mhm.
considered Spanish, right? But I'm sure. And then walk us through a little bit about how you learned Spanish. Is there a difference between Colombian and your favorite word? Go to that approach then.
Well, I think for everybody that takes Spanish in school or college, um, there's one thing to learn book Spanish,
Yeah.
but then there's a completely different way that you communicate with people in an immersed environment. So, I knew Spanish from school and college. I took a year in both, but once I got here, I didn't really learn communicative Spanish until I got here and practice with people, going to the store, taking a taxi, um, communicating with my family members and all of that. And the funny thing about it, you'll be in a room full of people and they're having a conversation and they'll start laughing or something. And you'll be thinking, okay, are they talking about me? So,
Did I say something wrong? Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So it took me a good year and a half to get to a place where I can communicate at a fluent level like I am now.
Oh, that's wonderful. So,
Yeah.
like right now, my background is in Europe, Bosnian, Yugoslavia, and I'm learning online with the bookwork and stuff like that. But it's not the same as actually living there. So, you would probably recommend if somebody wants to learn the language, live in that country or the country that speaks the language for some time, and you would pick it up because that's the way to do it, right? You're living there. If you're living in a country and they don't speak the language, it's kind of hard. You're focused on either a TV show or a movie, and then you're also focused on English for job. So what do you think
Yeah.
on that sense?
I mean, it's the same in Spanish,
Yeah.
and for people that want to leave Colombia and go to the States, I mean, they have to go through the same exact process that I went coming here. So that was really, really interesting, teaching people English as a second language here.
Oh wow. Okay. And
Yeah.
what's your favorite Spanish word in Colombia that you learned? Like, is there a
Okay. So
difference
that,
between regular Spanish and the other, like, let's say Mexican Spanish, or any
yeah.
other country?
Yeah. The thing about that is then that when I was in school, I learned Spanish from Spain, but then there's Mexican Spanish, there's Colombian Spanish, and Colombian Spanish is completely different from Mexican or Spanish from Spain.
Wow.
Yeah, the grammar is different, the expressions are different. So, having to learn all of that was, you have to start from zero when you come here.
Oh,
Um, yeah,
wow.
so it's really, really challenging. Yeah.
That's awesome. And let's get to the word. What's your favorite word? That,
So I'm going to give you an expression, patas arriba.
can you type it in the chat box, actually, the private chat, and I'll try to put it up
Yeah.
here for the guys.
Okay. Sure. Is it under settings? No.
Right, it says private chat right at the bottom
Oh,
there somewhere. Yeah.
oh, here we go. Okay.
Okay. I see. It should be. I should be able to post it and here in a second for them.
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. Let me go ahead and paste it in here. It should work. And okay, there we go. Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, let's talk about it. Papa Sariba.
Okay, so when you say patas arriba, that means that your house or your apartment or the place where you live is completely in disorder.
Ah,
So yeah, in a literal sense, it means that your legs are up, or your feet are up, which makes
yeah.
absolutely no sense if you say that in the conversation. So it's a common expression here in Colombia.
Oh wow. Yeah, there are common expressions around the world with different languages, and I love learning. And so when you go to a certain, like for example, like in Bosnia and Yugoslavia, you would say the bus hit me, I didn't hit the bus. You know,
Uh-huh.
they have these weird expressions. And so stuff like that that you have to pick up and you wonder why is it? And so if you say the wrong thing, it might mean something totally different and you might get a laugh at it. And so yeah, and I took
Yeah.
Spanish in high school. I graduated about 20 years ago or so. And so
Uh-huh.
it was interesting taking that Spanish or French, and it wasn't too bad. A lot of the words are common and it's fascinating. Excellent. All right,
Yeah.
let's go. Are you ready for the next question, Jason? There's just a couple more
Um,
here to go.
I'm ready. I'm
Okay.
ready.
All right, here we go. Okay. Okay. In my free time or hobby, I love to do what? What do you like to do in your free
Salsa.
time?
One of them is salsa dancing.
Salsa dancing. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. I
What?
actually learned in Texas when I was living there before I came here to Columbia, and I actually met my current wife salsa dancing.
Oh, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I know when we were in gym class in high school, we had to do square dancing, but
Oh
salsa
yeah.
dancing is that was like a requirement. I don't know if when you went to the states, you went to the states in America, right, for the high school, for high
Yeah.
school.
In Atlanta.
Okay, and I know we had like one semester, so we do activities in gym class. Like one day we'll do basketball, one day we'll do this, and we had to do. It was a requirement to do square dancing. Everybody was like, "What?"
Wow.
So it was like that was something, and so that was part of the curriculum. I can never forget it. It was weird. It was like from May. But did you guys ever do anything like that?
Oh man, I'll never forget when I was 7 years old. I was in first grade, and I took square dancing, and all
Ah,
of us had to take it, and we had to put on a presentation for the whole school. So yeah, I took square dancing.
oh wow. Okay, that's interesting. Now, how is
Yeah.
salsa dancing compared to that since you did it? But then I know you've been practicing more salsa. Is it hard to learn? Let's say I say to you, Jason, teach me. What would you do? What would we do first?
Yeah. Okay. Well, the first thing you have to learn is the basic step. And that's the hardest part to learn because the rhythm of salsa music is completely different from anything else that you've tried to dance to. So just trying to learn the basic, I mean, people take 2 to 3 months on trying to learn the basic step. So once I got that, it was all uphill from there. But I mean, it took me a good 2 months to get that rhythm down.
That's awesome. Yeah, I always watch
Yeah,
movies and videos and see it. It's very fascinating the dancing and how they
yeah.
do it. It's amazing. It's good exercise and you're just moving around and
Oh yeah.
it makes you feel good as well, right? So awesome. I like that. Do you actually share some videos on your YouTube channel? Any of that? So or is that private? Is it close to the,
Okay.
to the
No,
public
man.
or not yet? I'm just joking.
No, actually, man, I haven't gotten that bold yet. But I was talking to my wife about it, and she actually brought it up the other day. She said, "Jason, we need to put some videos together of us dancing together." I said, "You know what? Awesome idea." So it is coming.
Oh,
We haven't done it yet, but it's on the way. It's on the way.
that's awesome. That's great. I always like to see people that I know,
Yeah.
especially like Jason Wilson, who's a good guy that I met. And like I said, one of the top 10, I would say, who are wonderful people that, you connect
Oh,
right
thank you, man.
away. Matt Allen, you, and always willing to answer my questions. Or if I text you, you're always there. And if people don't know Jason Wilson, they don't know, you're one of those good guys. And Don Cohen as well, one of the top 10, and I can say are wonderful people who are doing good for society and the world, right? Everybody's has their own
Oh,
part. So I
thank you, man.
appreciate
I
you
appreciate you.
so much. All right, let me go to the next one here. We have two more questions, looks like. Okay, this one is going to be for everybody. If I would invent an item to help mankind, what would it be? Every person who's been on the show, all 21 before you, have to answer this question to move on to the final question for the $1 million question. I'm just kidding.
Okay, can this be
It can
anything?
be anything, an item, an invention, an idea. Yeah.
Okay, so this also has to do with teaching people English here in Colombia or any other Latin American country. The biggest challenge for people is that, for an example, if they United States or another country to learn English, they're completely immersed in the language. But then when they come back to their mother country, there's no way to practice. They don't have people to, have basic conversation with to continue their practice. And as a result, they actually lose everything that they learned when they travel. So, I had to think of a way on how I was going to help people to do this. And so one of the ideas that I had was the immersion project. And this is going to come like later in the future, but it's a place where you can go and practice your English. And it's going to be a fun activity where you can, win points and compete with other people. So it'll be a fun activity.
That's fun. Oh, I like that idea. That's definitely. You're such an innovative guy, and you come up with it's amazing. We've talked about so many things you've been doing, and it's super. The last part is talking about Circle of Friends Club, right? So you're part of that. It's mental health and helping people. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that, and tell us, how you came about to come up with this idea. You're such an innovative guy. You come up with all these ideas, and you must have that big work. So talk to us about that, and yeah.
Well, I can't take credit for everything that I come up with, man. I get my ideas from the Lord. I always go to Him in prayer and ask for ideas, concepts. And, one of the things toughest when you're starting a business is having the resources to put into marketing and everything else. So the Lord may not necessarily rain money from the sky, but He'll give you an idea, a concept, or something that you can use in order to make that dream come true. So I started out, man, teaching English here in Colombia. And then after that, one of my students one day, she said, Jason, you need to do something to help people more in the area of relationships. So at the time, the movie Hitch was out. And there was a speed dating scene in that movie. I don't know if you remember that, Omar.
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay. So I said, you know what? That would be the perfect thing. And, people that have their own businesses here in Colombia. So I started a speed dating company with my wife in 2010, and we had that until 2015, and we sold it. So during that time, we had more than 200 marriages during that time. And I
Oh
wanted
wow.
to do something more. Yeah. So I wanted to do something more international. So we decided to sell it. And not too much longer after that, my mom, she had bipolar depression for 13 years. And
Ooh.
during the whole time that I was here from 2003 until I would say 2011, I had to fly back and forth from Colombia to Atlanta and check on her, help her out with her situations that she was going through with her depression, her diabetes, and she was dating this guy that was from Haiti. Man, I don't have anything against Haitians, but this particular gentleman was
Yeah.
a warlock,
Oh
and
wow.
so he performed witchcraft on her and did all kinds of crazy things. Yeah, I mean, it was some really, really dark stuff.
Wow.
So, yeah, during that whole event, God gave me the idea for Circle of Friends Club, just a way that people could expand their circle of friends outside of work. I said that would be a wonderful idea too. So I actually started that idea, and we had a couple of events. I had to go back home to help my mom, and I really didn't pick this idea back up until the pandemic. And that's when I learned that we really really need to use this as a way to help people with mental health. So that's when I started the whole idea about working on events in order to help people with that. But also, man, loneliness is the biggest thing that destroys people right now, is being lonely, not having a person to talk to about their mental health issues, which is why we started Freedom Fight Expo. We have 10 speakers that we feature that talk about their mental health journeys, how they overcame it, and then they share tools and tips that other people can use in order to overcome their issues as well. So, everything that I do right now, it's basically focused towards mental health.
Beautiful, beautiful. I love that. I just want to say hello to our friend Kelly here. Awesome to see you, Jason Wilson, on the show today, number 22, on episode 22 here. He's a good friend. She was actually on the show too, the first
Hey, Kelly.
person in 2024. Yeah, she was like the first person that I brought her on here. So that's
Awesome.
great. I like the journey of what you're doing there, and you're helping all these people all around. And it's always somebody you see in your life, like your mom, that you want to make a change to help the society, right? We all have that drive.
Yeah.
You
if it's my internet connection or what.
But I'm back now, and I'm on this side.
Oh, okay. I was thinking, was it my connection or yours?
I think it's mine. So I actually moved the computer to a Wi-Fi. It was usually connected with the wire. I moved it in another room, so there's more space here.
Okay.
And I might bring in later over there. And so that's so. Hopefully now we're back, right? But now I'm on the far right. You're on the far left.
Yeah.
Another joke there. Okay. Okay. I was going to show everybody the map of how we traveled with our supersonic jet to get to your location. Let me show everybody the airplane here. One moment.
Okay.
All right. How was that? If you noticed, we actually flew over Atlanta, and then we had to go back a bit, swing over, and then we landed there. Hopefully, we landed in the right area of your city.
Actually, that would be closer to Bogota. I'm not in Bogota. I'm in Meta, the Department of Meta. So the departments here are the same as states. And
Okay,
so
good.
So Meta is the department, and Villavicencio is the next biggest city from where I live.
Oh, perfect. So if you would go travel, the best airport is Bogota when you travel back to the
When you
States, or if I would
it,
visit, what's the best airport to get to? Anybody.
yeah, you got to go directly from the states to Bogota.
Okay. Okay, great. Awesome. In fact, I
Yeah.
did one clue about, I think, a shopping center or a mall that's located there. I used it in my Zumberty game show, and the guy knew it who was there. It was me recording with the background, and I was like, "Where am I at?" I mentioned Bogota, and he said Colombia, so he knew it. He knew it. So awesome. All
Okay.
right. Appreciate you, Jason, being on the program. We usually go about 30 minutes here. Any last minute words or sentences that you'd like to share? I appreciate you being here. You do a lot of things, and
Thank
I'll
you.
leave it to you in the conclusion part.
Man, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I wish that the internet connection was better, but it's all good, man. We did our thing.
Must
I
be a
just want
rainy
to
day there.
No, actually, it's not, man. It's a clear, sunny day today, man.
Yeah. It's just, oh, wow. That's good. That's great. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So I just wanted to encourage people. We have some really really hard situations that happen to us, and that can knock us completely out of dealing with life situations. But I think that the biggest thing I want to encourage people on is, don't isolate yourself. Surround yourself by people that you can share anything that's going on. I think that when you're dealing with depression, anxiety, PTSD, those spirits, we're talking about demonic spirits that convince you of this stuff, is to, isolate yourself and stay away from people. But that's the worst thing you can do, man. So, surround yourself by people that you can confide in. My sister is here visiting from Atlanta, and she's been here for a couple of weeks. It's been a huge blessing. When my parents got divorced, it basically split our family in half. So she was on
Oh,
my
wow.
mom's side. Yeah, she was on my
Yeah.
mom's side, and I was on my dad's side. And it stayed like that for years. And we
Wow.
recently reconnected, man, and it's been wonderful. So
That's awesome. That's
yeah,
great. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it
I
really
like
is.
to mention, yeah, loneliness is not good. Definitely, you need to connect with people around. And then LinkedIn is definitely helpful. I mean, the online environment isn't that good because you're just in front of a screen. Go out and try to meet people when you can and different events. it's good to have time to yourself, but also it's good to be with people and get involved and be able to be seen and maybe go to sport events or play sports or tennis. And that's how we always grew up in that sense. So I appreciate you. Let me try if this applause thing works. Here, are you able to hear it?
Yeah.
Can you hear that? All right,
Awesome.
perfect. All right, there's a. We've talked about apps, that's I think a good app that I like for the day. My favorite app of the day is the applause sounds. All right, everybody, appreciate you being here. Thank you for Jason Wilson to being on this program. We'll be back for more exciting episodes with your friends from LinkedIn. Anybody who wants to be on the show is welcome. I've done like 22 episodes of this, 50 episodes of the Zoom Party. It's exciting, and we'll be back sometime soon. I'm going to end it. Jason, stay there for a second.